Hey there, thank you for joining me for today's practice. My name is Paula. Today's sequence is all about quietening down the mind. We're going to just take a few poses through the upper body, a little bit of work through the hips. Please grab a block if you've got one, as well as a strap. You might need that through for some of the beginning poses. If you don't have a block, then please feel free to use a cushion. So we're going to make a start in our Japanese seated position, and we're going to place the block on its medium height, and then shin bones down, toes pointing back as you take your seat. If for any reason this is a very uncomfortable position for you, you could just come to a cross-legged pose as well. That's completely fine. So just take your time, just resting the hands down onto the thighs. When you feel ready, closing down the eyes. Just taking this time to check in, noticing where you're at. And perhaps there's reverberations of your day or something that's happened. You might notice some thoughts floating around. Maybe there's sensation that starts to come into focus. Maybe there's a particular mood or emotional quality that's here. And we'll just take this time just to really notice whatever's here, allowing what's here to be here. No need to push it away. And as you feel ready, starting to draw the attention to your breathing. First, noticing the natural breath. Where do you feel the breathing? And if it feels okay, starting to lengthen into your breath. Slowing down the inhale. And slowing down the exhale. And as you start to lengthen the breathing, just gently lifting up through the crown of the head, having a sense of the whole spine starting to lengthen up as the sitting bones ground down. And notice how the mind tends to float around. And whenever you catch yourself drifting off with the mind, just very gently bringing yourself back to the breath, back to the body. Noticing where you are in this very moment. And no need to judge yourself if you're drifting off, it's completely natural. In a few moments, we will open our eyes. When you're ready, starting to open up the eyes, just noticing the space around you, feeling the sit bones grounding down onto your block or your cushion. Taking an inhale. As you exhale, just taking a very gentle twist to the right. So we don't have to go too strong here. We'll just keep that left hand onto the right thigh, turning the head towards that right shoulder. And then taking an inhale to come over to the left. And once again, just very gentle. And we're sitting up on the block, so your left hand might not reach down to the ground too much, but just keeping the fingertips there, looking over towards that left shoulder. And then inhaling to come back into center. Bring this right arm up and then bending that right arm, so the right hand rests onto the upper back, and then using your left hand to hold onto the right elbow. Thinking about these lower ribs that want to pop forward to just draw in as the back ribs climb up. Find the breath here. Now this is somewhere where you might want to use a strap, because I'm going to invite you to take your monkey grip with that left hand. If you want to use a strap, hold the strap or your scarf with the right hand and then drop it back down. If you don't need your strap, you can just bring this left arm behind you and start to creep that left hand up, trying to take a monkey grip with your right hand. Re-establish, draw those lower ribs in, back ribs climbing up, and just find the breath. If you would like to close down the eyes here, you can, or you can just let the gaze drop down towards your nose without dropping the head forward. Just 5 full breaths here. Trying to slow down the exhale in particular. Often very strong sensations coming up in this posture. See how you can use your breathing just to stay. And then we're going to keep our left hand behind the back. If you're holding onto the strap, you might need to release the strap, and then just release that right hand and take it back to meet the left hand. So we're coming into our reverse prayer. So we're trying to bring the palms of the hands together behind and draw the elbows back. If that's not available, then just take hold of your wrists or your forearms or even your elbows. And once again, just trying to drop and bring in those lower ribs, pressing the elbows back, bringing the palms of the hands together if that's available, just heading in that direction. And once again, gaze towards the tip of the nose, or maybe even just closing your eyes. Noticing what's here. Is there any space to soften on the exhale? And maybe there isn't, and that's okay. We just stay with where we can right now. And then in your own time, you might blink open the eyes if they're closed and gently bringing those arms down. Just take your own time and take a few shoulder circles forward and back. Just noticing that sensation coming back into the fingers, into the hands after that quite strong posture. And then just reverse the circle just a couple of times. And then let's release that down. And we're going to go to the other side. So first of all, just taking that left arm up, bending at the elbow, take the left hand onto the upper back and holding with the right hand. Trying to lengthen up through both sides of the body. And then your choice here, if you would like to use your strap, please feel free. You can bring that right arm behind you and start to walk the fingertips up. Trying to take a monkey grip with your left hand. Both shoulders pointing forward. Try not to push the head forward with that left hand. Or that left arm, I should say. And one side might feel quite different to the other side, and that's okay. Using your breath. 3 more full breaths. Is there any space to let go? Keeping that right hand behind you, release the strap if you've got the hold of a strap, and then bring that left arm back. Wrap it back behind the back and try to bring both hands into your prayer position, or maybe taking the forearms or the elbows. Back ribs climbing up as the lower ribs drop in, or the front ribs drop in. Maybe closing down those eyes. And sometimes when there's very strong sensations in the body, the mind also becomes really loud, and it's really wanting to get out of the posture. And absolutely, if there's sharp pain, then feel free to come out and respect and honor your body. Just notice how the mind wants to pull you out and away from the present moment. By gently bringing yourself back to the breathing, try to slow down that exhale. You might find just a little bit more space, a little bit more capacity to be right here. Last couple of breaths, if you can stay. And then gently opening up the eyes and taking your time to release those hands from behind you. And then once again, just taking a few shoulder circles forward and back. And then we'll change the direction of the circle, going back and forward. Nice big circles with the shoulders. And then let's release that. Coming off your block and then coming into your tabletop just for a moment, spreading into those hands, tucking the toes under and lifting into your down facing dog. And taking a few breaths here in your down dog. Trying to spread through the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Relax the back of the neck. Trying to lengthen out through the sides of the body to lift the hips up. Looking forward towards the hands, bring the right knee towards the right wrist and then walk this left foot back, keeping that left foot behind the left hip. And feel really free to keep this right heel nice and close towards the groin if you just want to keep it nice and easy. But if you've got a bit of space and you want to take that heel away from you, feel free. And remembering that you can always pop a blanket or a block underneath that right hip if you need a bit more support. Taking an inhale, and then as you exhale, starting to come forward. So where you can, you could rest your forehead down on a block or stack one hand on top of the other and bring the forehead down. Once you're here, just finding the breathing once again. Trying to take the breath into the back ribs as you inhale. Just noticing if there's any space to soften as you exhale.
Noticing what's here for you as we stay just a little bit more. Just stay for another couple of breaths. There's no right or wrong way to feel here. And some days a pose like Pigeon can feel really nourishing and easy, and then on other days it might feel a bit more challenging. Using the breath to meet whatever rises. Holding yourself with kindness here. And then gently starting to come back out again. So coming up onto your hands, taking your own time. Just tuck the back toes under so you can take this right leg back. Making your way into your down facing dog. And you might want to pedal out through the feet just to release out of that pigeon. Or you could hold in stillness if that feels better. Just taking an inhale. As you exhale, let's bring the left knee forward. And then walk this right foot back, keeping that right foot in line with the right hip, toes pointing back if you can. Use any props to place underneath that left hip if you need to. Remember, you can bring that left heel in to make it feel a little bit more softer, or heel out if you are wanting a little bit more sensation, and opening through that left hip. Coming down in your own time, using your block or using your one hand stacked on top of the other to bring the forehead down. Just feeling free to close down the eyes. Listening in and noticing if there's any little bits of space that start to open up. Keeping the face soft, jaw released. Two more full breaths here. And then starting to make your way back up onto your hands. And this time let's just come over onto that left hip to bring the right leg forward. We're going to come down onto the back. Open the feet out as wide as the mat, arms a little bit away from the body, and then just taking your windscreen wipers for a few rounds, right and left. Easy breathing. And then bringing the feet in so they're hip distance apart. And then let's bring this right knee in towards the chest and come into your half happy baby with this right leg. So holding the outside blade of the right foot, drawing the right knee in towards the right armpit. And you might want to keep this left leg bent, but if it's available, straightening into that left leg, flex that left foot, left hand on top of the left thigh. As you inhale, trying to press forward through that left sole. As you exhale, drawing the right knee in towards the armpit. Just do that one more time, inhaling and then exhaling. Draw the knee in and then let's release. Bending both knees, feet flat on the mat and swapping it around. Bring that left knee in, flexing that left foot, holding the outside blade of the left foot. And then if you can, you're going to straighten into that right leg, flex the right foot as well. Right hand can come on top of the right thigh. As you inhale, keep pressing through the sole of the right foot. And then as you exhale, draw that left knee in towards the armpit. And then once again, inhale and then exhale, drawing it in. I'll just stay here for one more breath. And then let's release, bending both legs, feet flat onto the mat. Bringing the knees in towards the chest. Just hug both knees in for a moment. And then when you're ready, let's place the feet down and extend them long into your Shavasana. Just taking your own time. So make yourself feel comfortable. Letting the feet fall away from one another. Palms facing up. So with each exhale, allowing the body to get a little bit heavier and a little bit softer. So with each exhale, allowing the whole body to soften. Just relaxing the face, softening the belly. Coming to complete rest for the next few minutes. Please feel free to stay resting here for as long as you would like to. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Namaste.